Namaste, goddesses. Today is another free day, and this week we have a beautiful goddess, Maggie Webber from Australia. She is a working mother mentor, and she has an incredible story. I mean, it's an unbelievable thing. So stay tuned, listen to her. Welcome, Maggie. Welcome to Planet Aphrodite with Meenal. Hi, how are you?
Hello. Fabulous. Even though we're in lockdown, I'm fabulous. I'm finding many benefits from being in lockdown.
Lovely. I could get track of you. I could get you on hold because of this thing. Otherwise, you're such a busy lady, getting.
Right.
So it's amazing to have you here. So, Maggie, how is the younger Maggie journey, and the carefree one, or maybe little less? So take us goddesses
well, the
there.
younger Maggie.
Yeah.
The younger Maggie was quite a while ago because I turned 65 in a couple of months in June.
Yeah.
But that's only chronologically.
Right.
Biologically, I'm about a 48-year-old. So,
Okay.
But the younger Maggie, the younger Maggie was, I always wanted to be an actress. I ended up marrying, starting my own business, and then I married a professional golfer, and we traveled all around the world, and we had, 5 houses around the world, and all the material things that you could want. But I had this big black hole in the center of my chest, and, just nothing seemed to be able to fill it. And the material things to me just don't answer the questions that I had. And so I was very blessed to meet Dr. Deepak Chopra, and I started studying with him, and I found a lot of answers, particularly through the work that I did with him, learning how to meditate, doing a lot of personal development, and realizing that if you don't go within, you go without.
Right.
So the answers aren't outside yourself in your cars and your houses and all those material things. The answers are in here, and we connect with who we really are, the authentic person. And that's when my transformation started. So I became his first primordial sound meditation teacher in the Pacific Rim. So we're talking over, a quarter of a century ago now. And my life completely changed from there. And I spoke with him at the entertainment centre here in Sydney. I'm in Sydney at the moment, but with him at the entertainment centre in Sydney in front of 2,500 people. I'd only qualified like a week before, so I got dropped right in the deep end. And I couldn't believe it, because suddenly, 480 people came to me at interval and wanted to learn to meditate. And
Wow.
So that's how things started from there. But that was on the Wednesday night, and on the Saturday, I asked for the divorce. It was that quick, because I realized that I was living a lie, that I was, with all the material things and this, that, and the other, but, with a husband that I could hardly even communicate with because he was so entrenched in his career and everything. And also I wasn't living my soul purpose. I wasn't living my Dharma. I wasn't doing what I have been put on the planet to do. And I've been put on the planet to be a public speaker, to be an author, to really use my journey to assist other women, particularly working mothers. They're who I'm really passionate about. And working mothers I'm passionate about because John Gray, who wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, he said, a working woman today is doing her mother and her father's job.
Right.
A single working woman or single working mother, she's either a miracle worker or she's crazy. And so I realized when I became a single mother, I had a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, I realized that I had this thing that I call the struggle with the juggle going on. I was doing 4 people's jobs. And because I can be a little bit of a workaholic, I was probably doing about 8 people's jobs. Wow. And so I had this, what I call, as I say, the struggle with the juggle going on. So the techniques and the tools that I have learned through my journey to assist me with stress management, to assist me with time management, well, even more important, energy management.
Wow.
because I'm really, it's not about, we've all got the same time, hours in the day,
Right.
but we don't all have we don't have the same energy.
Right.
And when you've got the energy, you can do anything. You can move mountains. So it's more about energy management. So all those techniques and things that I have learned in my journey, I can save people so much time because they can model the journey that I've had. And so they can save themselves a lot of time and energy by shortcuts, the shortcuts
Wow.
that I can give them.
This is so interesting. So Maggie, once you go to Dr. Deepak Chopra and you have this transformational thing clicking in you, you find your Dharma and you start working on it. What is the biggest challenge that you faced that you want to discuss today? What was the biggest demon you faced on your journey? And tell our goddesses about that.
Wow, it was a big one. Because when I became a single mum, I then started getting involved in property. Because I wanted to be able to work from home.
Right.
I wanted to be able to be there for my children. I've got very talented children, not that they're children anymore. And they were doing playing 3 different sports each, at a high level. And they were, playing instruments and doing drama and doing all these things. And so for me to have to look after all their extramural activities and be there for them. I didn't want to be going and doing a job from 9 until 6 and having them brought up in a childcare centre and all of this. So I wanted to find things that I could do from home. So I got involved in a couple of things. I started my own coaching business, and then I started to get involved in property, and I was doing really well. I'd bought myself 3 properties in Sydney, which, when I think back what they'd be worth now. And I bought a couple off the plan, and I was doing really well, and I was building this wonderful portfolio. But then what happened was I got a bit adventurous, and I started a property development all by myself. And it took me 8 months to get what's called the development application through. And it was unheard of that you'd get something through in that short amount of time. But there was a little bit of a hold up next door. There was a little creek, a little waterway. And so that was the state government department that held things up now for another 18 months. By that stage, the global financial crisis had hit. So after me paying all the engineers, all the architects, everybody else to get this development application done and through, the value of the land had plummeted, and I couldn't get the thing financed. It was just awful. So what happened was I had to sell my 3 properties. And even after I sold my 3 properties to pay my debts, because I had to pay all these people, I was still $500,000 in debt. Now, everybody was saying to me, and this is a very important clue for the goddesses, everybody was saying to me, go bankrupt. My best friend, who was all the people I was involved with in that property development group, was saying, go bankrupt, go bankrupt. But there's something inside of me that couldn't give up. All these other people are going to lose their businesses too, because I got to pay the engineer, I've got to pay the architect. And I felt that was really irresponsible to go bankrupt. Although my health was going down because it was hard to get this whole juggle and finance things. But I had something in me that would not give up.
Wow.
And I thought, I'm going to find a way out of this. I'm going to find a way out of this. So I discovered a financial counselor, which I didn't even know they existed.
Okay.
And she negotiated with all my creditors, with the banks and everybody else, that I would pay them all off in little bits. She also kept the vultures away, because every time I wanted to answer the phone, it was someone wanting money.
Right.
So because she took all that away from me, she gave me that clarity to be able to have time to think again and to get into a creative space again and to get back in flow. But she also negotiated things so that I could just pay off in installments and did not have to go belly up, I call it.
Okay.
Now, most people take that route. Look, I'm sure a lot of people, the only alternative is for them to go bankrupt. To me, I'll always be the one who'll take the road less traveled. I'll always be the one who, Tony Robbins sort of says, happiness is a dirt track. You know, it's easy to get on a track where everybody's getting depressed and this, that, and the other. That's the easy road. But I'll
Right.
take the dirt track. I'll take the road less traveled. I'll take the one that's not necessarily easiest, but it gives me ease and it gives me flow. So I'm able to now look at myself in the mirror, much as it was tough and much as I've still got a little bit of that money to pay back, but that's $500,000
Right.
that I've paid back, right, in 10 years. So I can look at myself in the mirror and I can be really proud and really have belief in myself that I can do anything.
Wow.
If I can get out of that, I can do anything.
Wonderful, wonderful. And, I'm just putting myself in your shoes and I'm like, wow, what a journey. What an incredible journey you had, Maggie. And with the current scenario, many people are facing their kind of financial crisis, maybe in terms of job, maybe in terms of property, maybe in terms of their family members facing something. So right now, word is a flex. And one thing that you said earlier, that only way out is go inside, so you have to go inside. I think this is a warning bell from the universe to the whole world to stop looking outside and take a deep breath in and think inside, go inside. This is the right time to do so. So amidst all that is happening around us and people getting flabbergasted around it, like what to do. I mean, there is, even the banks are saying, don't come to us. Right now situation is such, and you can't trust banks even. I mean, it's both ways. So in this kind of scenario, what is one gem that you would like to offer to our goddesses who are really, really feeling helpless, or maybe they can't even claim bankruptcy, or whatever? They are facing some kind of a financial, very big challenge in their life. But what is the gem that you would like to offer?
There'd be more than one, but you must never lose faith in yourself and belief in yourself. Because if you do go within, there's an inestimable amount of energy. And if you go to source, if you go to God, if you go to whatever you want to call it, infinite possibilities, universal consciousness, you can call it Sarah, it doesn't matter what name you give it. But as you go in there and tap into that energy and believe in yourself and never lose faith in yourself. Everybody's come onto this planet with a handful of gifts, but most of us don't even know what those gifts are.
Right.
So go inside. Go and ask yourself what those gifts are. And I know it's difficult, but you must always find the positives in everything that happens to you. It's not what happens in our life it's not what happens that's important. It's how we react to it. So I could have gone, oh, woe is me, and in fact, my best friend, it was awful because the one who had said to me, go bankrupt 3 years later, she took her life. And she left behind a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. Nothing is that bad that you take your life and you leave behind your children, right? So you must always find the positives, because in every challenge that you face, there is always one or more positives. So always make lemonade out of your lemons. That's important, because when you do that, you get all kinds of physiological benefits. You release dopamine, you release serotonin, you release all these things that help you take more steps forward. Sometimes life can be so tough that we feel like we're only just putting one toenail in front of each other, but just keep moving forward. Moving forward on that road less traveled. Find out what your gifts are. Find out how you can use those gifts to be in service. People are having to shift, and a lot of people are going to, they won't they're not even allowed out of their house, let alone go to their job. So they've got to now, you'll find a lot of things happening online and things now. Let's find the juice in it. Let's find the benefits in it. Look at the fact that you now got more time with your family. Look at the fact that you can now go out in your garden and plant some vegetables. Look at those positives. That's what's most important.
Yes. Thank you, Maggie, for such beautiful set of gems, not just one gem, but a lot of gems our goddesses must have gone. So, Maggie, how can our goddesses follow you on social media? Can you share that? Your website and
Okay.
social media handles?
Well, probably the best website is www.maggiewebber.com.
Okay.
Right? So that's 2 G's, 2 B's, maggiewebber.com. And LinkedIn, I'm the same. It's LinkedIn / Maggie Webber. On Instagram, I'm called the Working Mother's Mentor. Maggie@maggiewebber.com is my email. And Facebook, again, just / Maggie Webber.
Perfect.
On Facebook. I'd love to be able to offer your goddesses a copy of my book.
Wow, that would be great.
It's an Amazon bestseller, and it's called A Working Mother's Guide to a Guilt-Free Career.
Okay.
Because sometimes, so it's not just working mothers, but anyone can benefit from it.
So, Maggie, how can our goddesses get this beautiful gift?
They can get a copy of the book from bit.ly/Maggie Webber gift.
Okay, goddesses, take note of that. Download your copy now and read it and send your beautiful reviews and change your life with Maggie. So thank you so much, Maggie, for your time and your pearls of gifts and gems and such an incredible story. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and wish you a lot of success. Namaste. Thank you so much.
Thank you.